How many games will the Tampa Bay Buccaneers win in 2026? What's going on, guys and Bucs fans? It's your boy Mail Jones here, back with another NFL record prediction. And this time we will be predicting the 2026 Tampa Bay Buccaneers for record as for the 2026 NFL season. Let's get things started here. I'm going to go game by game analysis and game by game picks, see which games I think the Bucs will win and which game I think the Bucs will lose. So before I give you my record prediction for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for the 2026 NFL season, don't forget to put thumbs up to like the video, subscribe to my channel more often, and comment down your opinion below to see how many games, how far you think the Bucs will be. Do you think the Bucs will win the division? Do you think they make the playoffs? Or you think they miss out on the playoffs and be a bad team? Let me know in the comments section below what you guys think. Okay, so week 1, they got to go on the road against Cincinnati Bengals. This is a game right here that could definitely go either way. Now, I know most people could be picking the Bucs to win because I kind of really feel like that the Bucs, they pretty much have a better roster. Like, I feel like both teams, like, most people are picking the Bucs to win because the Bengals aren't good in week 1. But I kind of feel like the Bengals are going to be a good team this year. So I'm going to pick the Bengals here to win this game because I feel like the Bengals are just a much more complete team. And I pretty much think that, Burrow's just going to be too much for your defense. And he's just going to do enough to slice and dice your secondary up. And I just don't think the Bucs really have the cover guys to man up against the Bengals receivers. I feel like Jamar Chase and T. Higgins is a problem. And I kind of really feel like, the Bengals defense is much improved with them adding veterans through the D-line and the secondary. And I just really think that, their defense might be able to get some stops there. They can find a way to get after Baker Mayfield made life difficult on them. So, yeah. So, basically, I feel like it's probably going to be a little bit of a high-scoring game. But I'm going to go ahead and just pick the Bengals to win, especially with Burrow on the last drive. So, yeah, I got the Bengals winning this game. Then week 2, they have to play at home in their home, but they're against the Browns. Ashley got Tampa Bay beating the Browns because the Browns are a disaster. I don't know who's playing quarterback for him. He's going to be Deshaun Watson, Shedeur Sanders, or Dylan Gabriel. And we know Todd Bowles is really good against rookie quarterbacks. I feel like his defense will find a way to defend the Browns offense. And I just really feel like, the Bucs, pretty much have the better quarterback. They're a more complete team. And they pretty much have, like, much more complete offense as well, which I think Baker will make more plays as well. So, yeah, and the Browns, I feel like they might take a step back this year because, they lost their defensive coordinator and then they lost Myles Garrett and they got Jared Verse. So the defense might take a step back, and their offensive line make some improvements, but their receiving core is not great. Which I don't think the Browns are going to be able to move the ball successfully. So which why I have the Buccaneers winning this game. Then week 3, they have to play at home against the Minnesota Vikings. This is a game right here I could see Tampa losing. But I'm going to go with the Bucs here to win this game because I just feel like the Bucs, Todd Bowles against mobile quarterbacks. He does a really good job defending them, and I feel like the Bucs have a better quarterback in this game, and I just think they pretty much have a better offense. Like the Vikings do got weapons on offense, but it doesn't matter. They're very predictable, and the Vikings defense is very predictable at times. So I think the Bucs offensively can move the ball against them, and the Bucs have really had success, how to attack Brian Flores lately. So, yeah. So, I think the Bucs offense can move the ball on them. And I kind of really feel like, Baker's going to make more plays. And I feel like Kevin O'Connell, he's probably going to scheme things up and have tricks up his sleeves against Bulls defense. But I kind of really feel like it's probably going to be a little bit of a high-scoring game. But I think the Bucs are going to find a way to at least pull out through. I'm just saying Baker's going to go through a last drive or all that on a last scoring drive. So, yeah. So, I got the Bucs winning this game. Then week 4 they play at home against the Packers. Uh, this is a game that can go either way. I feel like this is a game I can totally see Tampa winning, but I'm gonna go with the Packers here because I just think the Packers, are just a much more complete team. They have the better coaching staff, and I just really feel like Green Bay, pretty much has, I just feel like that Matt LaFleur is gonna find answers for the Bucs defense. And I just don't think the Bucs defense is going to be able to at least be good enough to at least like defend the Packers offense because they got to deal with a lot of young players on offense like Christian Watson, Jaden Reed, Tucker Kraft, Matthew Golden, and especially Josh Jacobs. Like, yeah. And Green Bay pretty much has a more complete defense, which I think their defense is going to be able to get more stops because I feel like they do have the pass rush to get after Baker. So yeah, which they got to deal with Micah Parsons as well. So yeah, I think the Packers. I wouldn't be shocked if Tampa won. I wouldn't rule them out winning, but I just think the Packers are just a much more complete roster, which is why I have the Packers winning this game. Then week 5 they have to play on a Thursday night against the Dallas Cowboys on a short week in Dallas. I actually got the Cowboys win this game because the Cowboys, there's a much more complete team, and they pretty much have, they pretty much, have, the better quarterback. They have the more complete offense, and I just don't really think Tampa Bay's defense is going to be able to go toe to toe against the Cowboys' offense because, the Cowboys got a lot of weapons on offense that can give Tampa's defense problems like CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, Jake Ferguson. They also got to deal with Javonte Williams because Dallas can run the football. And also, which I think Dallas' offense is going to be able to stay balanced as well. And they're going to, move the ball on the Bucs, which that keeps the Bucs defense on their heels. And I just really think that Dallas, their defense may not be as good as which they hope they believe it would be, but they did make some improvements. So I think as long as they can contain Baker, they should be fine. So yeah, so at the end of the day, I think Dallas gets the win there. Then week 6, they gotta play at home against the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is another game that can go either way, but I'm going to take Tampa to win this game because the Bucs are going to have a week to prepare because they're coming off a Thursday game. And I just really feel like, the Steelers, I feel like they're a better team from a talent standpoint, but I think the Bucs pretty much do have the offense to at least move the ball against the Steelers because I feel like the Steelers pretty much have a weaker defense. So I feel like the Bucs offense should have success there. I feel like Baker should be able to have success there. And I think Bowles' defense, against the Steelers' offense, he'll put up a good game plan against them because even in the Tom Brady era, the Bucs almost beat the Steelers. But I think the Bucs, pretty much on defense can do enough to defend Aaron Rodgers and fool him. So yeah, so yeah, oh, so yeah, so I think the Bucs, so I kind of really think the Bucs offense is going to have success through the air, and I think their offense makes more plays. So yeah, I mean, I think the Bucs find a way to win this game here at home. Then week 7, they got to play on the road against Carolina Panthers. I think they're going to split with the Panthers. So I'm going to give the Panthers the win here because I kind of really feel like the Panthers did beat the Bucs last year. They almost swept them last year. And I think their defense is much improved, which I think is going to be better than the Bucs. I think they can do enough to at least confuse Tampa Bay's offense. and get after Baker and make life difficult on them. So yeah, and I feel like Carolina's offense can have success as well. I mean, as long as Bryce Young has time, I mean, he'll find a way to eat this Bucks defense up. So yeah, so I think Carolina will win the first game. Then week 8 against the Atlanta Falcons at home. I feel like you're gonna beat the Falcons once this year, so I'm gonna give Tampa Bay the win there because I think Tampa Bay, pretty much plays the Falcons tough. I think the Bucks are a better team than them and have a better quarterback than them. And the Falcons, I don't know who's playing quarterback for them. Is going to be Tua or Michael Penix. Either or. I just don't think Atlanta's, offense is pretty. Like, I don't think it's that good. And I just really feel like, when I look at Atlanta, like their defense is fine, but it may not be good. So yeah, I think Tampa will win the first game. Then week 9, they got to play against the Chicago Bears on a primetime game, Sunday Night Football in Chicago. I actually got the Bears winning this game. And the reason for it is that, the Bears, I think they're pretty much a more complete team. They're at home. And I kind of feel like, the Bears, I kind of really feel like, Ben Johnson is going to have answers for the Bucks defense because I kind of really feel like that, he's going to scheme things up and he's going to put up a good game plan against that, especially when he was with the Lions. I mean, he put up a good game plan against Todd Bowles. And I think the Bears offense can do enough to move, even though their receiving core is not great. I think they can do enough to move the ball on the Bucks defense because I feel like Colston Loveland can have a good game. I feel like Roma Dunze, Luther Burden can. And they got 2 good running backs and Swift and Benanga who can have a good game too. So their offense is pretty good. But their defense may not be as good as they believe it would be. But I think Dennis Allen, he's had success against the Bucks offense in the past. I feel like he will find a formula how to confuse Baker Mayfield and make life difficult on him. So yeah, so I think the Bears will win that game for sure. Then they get a bye week. And then after the bye week, they got to play on the road against Detroit Lions. I think I actually got the Lions winning because the Lions are just a much more complete team. They have their coaching staff. They're at home in this game. They're more comfortable at home. And I just have a feeling that I just don't really think that the Bucks defense is going to be able to have answers for the Lions offense because I feel like Amon-Ra St. Brown, Sam Laporta, Jameson Williams going to have a good game. Those guys are going to be tough to cover. Jahmyr Gibbs is kind of tough as well. So I feel like the Lions offense is probably just going to overpower them. And I feel like Goff, he's going to have time to throw. And, and I feel like the Lions defense will make more stops. Even though they're weaker on that side, I think the Lions, can do enough defensively to at least get some stops here because they have the corners to man up against the Bucks receivers. They have the pass rush to get after Baker. Even last year, we seen the Lions beat the Bucks down, which I think they can do it. So yeah, so either way it goes, I got the Lions winning that game. Then week 12, they got to play at home against the Carolina Panthers on a Monday night. Like I said, they're going to split with the Panthers, so I'm giving the Bucks the win here because the Bucks got the better quarterback. They're at home, and I feel like this game, Baker Mayfield's going to outduel Bryce in this game. So yeah, and the Bucks pretty much have the better passing game as well, so I don't think the Panthers' defense is going to be able to go toe-to-toe with that. So yeah, so I got the Bucks winning that game for sure. Then week 13, they have to play at home against the Los Angeles Chargers. This is another game that can definitely go either way. Now, I believe last time when these two teams played, I believe that the Buccaneers did win that game. Because I kind of remember the game was in LA and the Bucs went on the road and beat them. So yeah, that's something you got to remember though. Because I kind of remember 2 years ago they did that. I mean, most people could be picking the Bucs to win because they pretty much can I feel like their offense can move the ball against Chargers defense. But I feel like the Chargers could totally take a step back this year. But I feel like the Chargers are a good team still. despite the loss of Jesse Minter. I mean, their defense was a lot better than the Bucs last year. Their offense was pretty much better than the Bucs last year. So yeah, I think this game right here is going to be very close. The Bucs could definitely pull off an upset, but I'm going with the Chargers here. And the reason why I'm going with the Chargers is because the Chargers are just a much more complete team and have the better coaching staff. And I feel like Mike McDaniel, he's going to at least have tricks up his sleeve and have answers for the Bucs defense. Because remember, when Mike McDaniel, when he was a head coach of the Miami Dolphins, the Dolphins beat the Bucs. So that's something you got to remember. But I feel like Mike McDaniel is going to find a way to at least like scheme things up against the Bucs offense. And I just don't think the Bucs defense is going to have answer for like guys like Ladd McConkey, Quentin Johnson, David Njoku. Like those guys will have a good game. And the Chargers may not be able to run the ball, but I think they'll throw the ball better than them. And I feel like Herbert will make more plays. And I think the Chargers defense can make more stops as well to get after Baker Mayfield, like stop the run. Like, yeah, so I'm not too worried about the Chargers secondary. So as long as they crowd the box, stop the run, they should be fine. So yeah, I think the Chargers are going to go into Tampa and win that game. Then week 14, they play on the road against the Baltimore Ravens in Baltimore. I actually got the Ravens winning this game because the Ravens are just a more complete team. They're at home and they have the better quarterback. And I feel like the Ravens defense is much better than the Buccaneers, which I kind of really think I just really think that the Ravens defense is much improved and they're going to be better than the Bucs. They improved their pass rush. They pretty much did have, I just really think that, I just feel like the Ravens offense, like, I just feel like Lamar's going to be too much for your defense. And I just really think that Derrick Henry might be too much for your defense too, so he can have a good game. And I don't think you guys really have the guys in the secondary that can really man up against the Ravens pass catchers. I feel like Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews will have a good game. Bateman can as well. Yeah, and the Ravens got two good corners that can really man up against the Bucs receivers. So which I don't think the Bucs offense is gonna be able to do that. Like they're gonna force you guys to pass the ball on them. Like they're gonna force you to run the ball on them, which they're not gonna do that. So yeah, and also I just think the Ravens are just a much more complete team overall, and they're at home where Baltimore is a tricky place to play at. So yeah, that's why I got the Ravens win that game. Then week 15, they got to play at home versus Saints, and they actually play them in week 18 too. So I think you're gonna split with the Saints. So I'm gonna say the Bucs win this game at home, and I'm gonna say they lose the last game on the road because I feel like the Bucs, to me, like I feel like the Saints are gonna be a good team this year. I think they'll be better than the Bucs because I feel like the Saints defense is much better than the Bucs, and even the Saints did beat them last year too. So yeah, and they pretty much know how to play the Bucs offense pretty well. So yeah, and I feel like the Bucs, even though I feel like they do have a better quarterback than the Saints as well. So yeah, I think that's why I think both these two teams will split with each other. And then week 16 against the Atlanta Falcons. But like I said, I think they're gonna split with the Falcons, so I'm giving Atlanta the win here. Because I kind of really feel like Atlanta's gonna like win one game against the Buccaneers. Because even last year, the Falcons did beat the Buccaneers with Kirk Cousins. So yeah, so they did beat them with Kirk Cousins like last year. I mean, that's something you got to remember. So yeah, so I think the Falcons will win one game against the Bucs this year. So yeah, and then week 17 against the Los Angeles Rams on a Saturday. I got the Rams winning this game, and the reason for it is that the Rams are just a much more complete team. They have the better quarterback and better coaching staff, and I just don't really think that the Rams, their offense is very too good. They got receivers that can really, like Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams, that can really give the Bucs defense problems. Because even last year, the game was in LA, and the Rams did end up beating them by a lot, which they did. So I just feel like the Rams offense is just going to be too much for your defense. And on top of that, their defense is much improved by adding Myles Garrett. They added two good cornerbacks in McDuffie and Watson, who can really take on the Bucs receivers. And the Rams do have a great pass rush, which I think they'll find a way to get after Baker Mayfield, made life difficult on them. So yeah. So yeah, I know it's in Tampa Bay, but I just feel like the Rams are just a better team, and they just know how to beat the Bucs. Like they pretty much do. And even in the Tom Brady eras, the Rams have beat them. So yeah. So I feel like the Rams is gonna come through with a coming out party, and they're gonna go on the road and beat the Bucs. But I could totally see this being a shootout and a high scoring game. But I just don't really see how the Bucs are going to be able to move the ball successfully, especially with the Rams having a better defense overall, which I think they'll find a way to stop the run and all that, which I don't think Tampa's going to be able to do much. Like, they're going to force you to run the ball. They're going to force you to throw the ball. Like, yeah. So I think the Rams will win that game for sure. So basically, I have the Bucs going at a total record of 6-11, which that's kind of disappointing for Bucs fans. I mean, 3-3 in division, 40 in the conference, 6-3 at home, 0-8 away. I mean, yeah, very terrible, but that's all I see for the Bucs is just 11-6, 6-11. Like, yeah, I mean, I just don't think the Bucs are just going to be a good team this year. I feel like this is a year they're going to take a step back this year. I kind of really feel like that the offense, last year even declined, especially with Liam Cohen leaving, and the offensive play call was a disaster, and Baker Mayfield played a lot worse last year. And now, the Bucs don't got Mike Evans right now. So I feel like the Bucs offense could be a little thin at wide receiver. Maybe Emeka Ibuka could take that next step to be a legitimate number one. Chris Godwin's still there. They got Kate Auden. Like, I like the addition of Kenneth Gainwell to go along with Bucky Irvin, but they lost Rashad White. But the offensive line is still fine. I mean, the defense, they did add some young pieces, though, but I feel like their defense is not as good as it was a couple years ago. I feel like it declined. And Todd Bowles, I feel like he is going to be fired. Like, I don't really think he's, like, any good of a coach. Like, he's better as a DC, but not as good as a head coach. Not a coach that can focus on both units at the same time. Like, yeah, like, I just don't really think the Bucs are there. Like, like, I feel like their offense, it'll be fine, but I feel like it's not going to be the same. It's going to be mid. And I feel like the defense is probably not going to be as good as it was. Like, I feel like the defense last year took a step back, and I just don't think their defense will be the same. And I don't think their defense is that good at all. So, yeah, I mean, I just hope the Bucs prove me wrong. But 6-11 is what I have, and I just don't think they're just going to be a good team this year. I mean, I love Baker, but he's okay. But I don't think I just feel like the Bucs don't have a good defense around that. So, yeah, I just feel like the Bucs, I mean, like I said, like if I look at their schedule, it may be difficult because, they have to play the best division in football, with NFC North. They got to play the Vikings, the Packers, the Bears, the Lions. They even got to play the Cowboys, who I think is going to make the playoffs. They got to play the Bengals, who I think is going to make the playoffs. They play the Steelers. They play the Chargers and the Ravens and the Rams as well. So, yeah, this is a tough schedule so far. But the only teams that they don't really play is like the Chiefs, the Bills. They don't play the Eagles or the Niners, the Seahawks. Like, yeah. So, look at this schedule. It's pretty tough, though. But I could totally see the Bucs at least pulling off an upset against one good opponent. Like I could see them beating the Packers. I could see them beating the Cowboys. I could see them beating the Chargers or the Rams. Or I can like one of these games I can see them win. But I hope the Bucs prove me wrong. I mean, but 6-11 is my record for them. So yeah, so you let me know what you guys think in the comments section below. Do you think I'm right? Do you think I'm wrong? Just or you think I'm crazy or something? Just like let me know in the comments section below what you guys think about the Bucs and all that. So yeah. Well, this is Emmanuel Jones from Big Fan. Thank you guys for watching. And don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel so you can see more of my NFL record prediction videos through my playlist, or you can see all my videos through my channel on there that I posted. Well, that's all for now. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys later. Peace.